Welcome again to Naledi, Nothing But the Truth. You're sitting with Mr. ZN, and I got a guest today, a very humble gentleman, Usfiso Madlala. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
It's
Nice having you here in the studio, finally. Usfiso, we met via the Uber. Yes, because sometimes Mr. Bree does Uber, you know. But we met there. It's got a lovely, lovely story, intriguing story. And this is why it's here. We're going to be discussing manhood, business, and basically how to behave as a man.
Usfiso Madlala. I'm born eThekwini kwaMashu. Lived till the ages of about 13. Lived with relatives from then through high school till tertiary. Various families within my relatives, and got a lot of teachings that make the man you see here today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, abantu abaningi bacomplaina ngemsebenzi. Now I know awumfuni umuntu oyivila. With your trips that we've taken, ngiyawuzwa ngokukhuluma ukuthi umuntu engageayo into ukhuluma into yenzeka. So bakhuluma umsebenzi, kulahlelwe umsebenzi, abantu generational wealth bafuna ukuba right kodwa futhi abafuna ukuapply ingqondo zabo kule nto abayishona. But here you are. You got a business which is a very, very interesting and a dangerous business which we don't understand as Africans.
Sure.
This is why I actually called you, so that you clarify to me, Uguti, what is the scrapyard and how is it run? Because me, I'm scrapyard. I'll be honest. If you are owning a scrapyard, to my eyes, you are dangerous. It's either you steal cars. That's because that's how they portray owners of scrapyards. Stealing cars, in some shady business. You know what I mean?
Okay. Here's how it all started. I had a business, diesel.
Okay.
Distributing diesel.
Oh.
And I had investments made in that business, and that business didn't do well. When that business didn't do well, I was left with stuff like, it was a mini truck van. I had, I think, a laptop that I had bought to just do my work for the business. It took months to warm up to it. A sister of mine suggested the idea of opening a scrapyard, and I was in keen. Until I realized, no man, the business is dead. Your diesel, it was making losses more than profit in how it operated. The business model didn't work out. I went on to approach a friend of mine who owned a salon at the time, Sandile. I'm like, I'm thinking of opening a scrapyard. I need a place. It's like, I'm like, help me look. He suggested one place, and I had another one in mind. We had views. Eventually, I went to his father. His father's like, no, you can use one of my old business places. Go clean the yard out and sort it out. We'll see. Same day, I went and I pawned a laptop.
Oh, your laptop.
Yeah. With the hope of repaying and getting it back.
Yeah.
Well, I already had the truck. Took the money, went and got a scale, and what else? Oh, the rest of the money I used to pay the guys that were cleaning up the space, the yard where I was supposed to work, because it was an old building, dilapidated.
Yeah.
They cleaned it up, and then I knew nothing. Guys started The guys I worked with knew everything, and I learned from them. So as they continued, I would learn and started very small. And one thing that happened was it paid the bills that month. In the longest of time, in everything I had been trying to do, bills could be paid.
With scrap.
With this thing, yes, scrap that is dirt and you know. And then I just kept on going. I just said to myself, let me just do this thing. I just gave it a chance. And I gave it my all.
So, I mean, we still don't understand. I still don't understand how do you get money from it? I know. I've
Okay.
read about it.
Yeah. All right. Let me just take you through that process.
Yeah.
There's scrap metal,
Yes.
scrap yards,
Yes.
which deal in scrap metal.
Okay.
There's scrap yards that deal in auto scrap. There are people who buy old cars to strip them to sell parts.
Okay.
I'm not in that business.
Okay.
I'm in the business, value chain, scrap metal recycling.
Okay. Okay, guys. The card thing, we can strike it off now. Carry on. No cars being stolen here. Yeah.
Value chain, scrap metal recycling.
Yes.
So, emhlabeni wonke insimbi existayo initially came from mining of ores, in particular iron ore. I could be wrong. Those who know better can always comment.
Yes.
And then it is processed to produce metal.
Yes.
Now, that is a costly exercise, one. Two, through consumption of economies and communities, scrap or waste is produced, which is an entire industry. Now, when I say waste in all forms, but I want to speak about waste in the form of scrap metal.
Yes.
And then there's the environmental side of things. This whole recycling scrap metal value chain I'm talking about,
Yes.
at the core of it, there's environmental awareness, environmentally friendly ways of disposing, of disposing of these things that are harmful to the environment.
Oh.
But usually that is not looked at because now there's money in incentivizing for disposal.
Oh, okay.
You dispose of scrap, you are incentivized.
Yes.
You dispose of cardboard, you are incentivized. Now, Leo Mali is what we pay to those who come and dispose git at the scrapyards. Okay. Now, for you to own a scrapyard, you first need to go through a process of getting a permit under the Second-Hand Goods Act, which is enforced by South African police. The act stipulates everything there, and there's a way that you should operate the business according to the regulations and the laws stipulated in there. There are various dealers again, or in the second-hand goods. There's scrap metal, there's pawn shops, there's dealing in precious metals in a form of second-hand, not brand new things, and so forth. Now, with the compliance side of things, it intertwines with the business side. On the business side, the incentive of the money you pay for scrap is what people now are rushing for. It's quick cash.
Yeah.
And then you find Wuti substance abusers have access to this money purely because they bring something to you.
You've just romanticized the way the drug dealer.
Users.
Substance abuse.
Yes.
Wow.
Precisely.
What a beautiful way. So they come to you, which are mostly the people that come to you.
More based election. No, not all scrapyards. No, I want to clarify that.
Yes.
I'm passionate about that because
Yes.
when you are based in the township now, let me not be.
No.
When you're based in the township, you will have a business.
Yes.
Unless you are trading in some illicit things, you will do very well.
Yes.
But if you are working legitimately,
Yes.
you won't do as well. Now, what we have in the township, we have these guys that would waste pickers, that would go as far as steal as well.
Yes.
Now, you have no way of deducing when they come to you with an item that it's been stolen.
Oh.
Unless I know an item because I know you. I know your house. I know this thing looks like it belongs to Bride's property.
Yes.
Then I would call you and say, hey, listen, I think something looks like yours.
Yeah.
Other than that, they would then declare that it's their item. They produce their ID. We transact. We give them the little money they get for whatever it is.
I'm a part of the produce the IDs.
Yeah, they have IDs.
You mean to tell me they're going around smoking? They got IDs just in case they need to sell something.
If they want the money, they go and they do anything for it. Angithi phela ufuna imali. You see, but then there's the other side of it. When I say yes, they have IDs, it's not all of them.
Yes.
Now, those who don't have would go to scrapyard that are not compliant and sell there.
Oh. So that's why isikhathi esiningi bengezi wena. Sifisa so ngibuza nge-ID
Straight and I'm, you know.
Okay, so as in angifuni ukuqhatha nabantu because nami angifuni ukuqhatha abantu. Ambuza ngani ukuthi.
Please bring it.
So njengoba kade uchaza wathi ke ama substance users. How do you remove the stigma about your business ukuthi manje kwakhona iscrapyards endaweni sekuzokhula ubugebengu?
Okay, here's before I try and answer that, we need to understand that this is an industry that exists, scrap metal industry, and it's a billions dollar worth of industry, and it's not a criminal industry.
Okay.
It is, in South Africa, it's regulated through a Second-Hand Goods Act, which is enforced by SAPS.
Okay.
So there's a whole act dedicated to this and how the scrapyards should run.
Okay.
So the misinformation and the ukungabi nolwazi kwabantu oluphelele, yes, causes for those perceptions and what they've experienced. Uvuka ekuseni, your tap is broken, kuxaza amanzi, your geyser has been broken and copper pipes have been taken, and umasipala has had properties demolished, damaged by people. Beyodayisa scrapyard.
Yes.
We take away nothing from that happening, but it's not all scrapyards that do that. I cannot run away from the fact that there are illicit dealers,
okay,
that plague the industry by obviously vandalizing the infrastructure and as you were saying, Oprasa being cut cables, and then there are copper thing is going on. That I cannot take away. But what it has done over the years, it has smeared everybody under with the same paint, or it was like one approach. You know, I've had an incident where this is to the incident with the police. There was like an entourage of police with like vehicles over 15, I think, from the municipality, SAPS, and PRASA. Okay. So that was an operation of some sort. Fair, Okay. Everything is above board. I walk in, I see, I speak to them, I greet, I go and sit. I was still very, very fragile. I go and sit, and then I get to meet the guys that were, and they were all over the yard, kicking and looking at things, and I was comfortable with that because, hey, you know
your place.
Now, because there's this perception that scrapyards deal in stolen properties,
yes,
that I think Everybody has, because at some point they've been stolen stuff for, and for some reason they link them to scrapyards.
Okay.
But sadly, that even the law enforcers come with the perception that they're dealing with criminals.
Okay.
Now that for me was a huge challenge in the beginning,
Okay.
whereby I wouldn't understand why are these guys so punitive? Why are they so funny? You know, even I didn't understand well my rights within the Second-Hand Goods Act, which I have as a dealer. They would do as they please, you know, and if they felt this seemed a certain way, without really or substantial, you know, evidence or proof that something is wrong here, and everything checked out in the records, but they would still, you know, act however they pleased. Only to realize with time, Kwabona didn't know their work.
Oh.
The trainings were behind, or trainings were not coming to them on time, but we were out there trading. Some of us knew more than the police, but because it's a police, and then they feel you have an attitude.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's
what we get to experience in Malukshini, you know.
Okay.
With not all of them,
most,
but you know,
a typical cop comes
especially
with this mindset.
umuntu omnyama nje, I'll tell you. Because so they already are vested in this thing that they're doing, and they are not partial. They're not being critical about it. So kuleo incident, what I learned was that namaphoyisa ayengakazi. I'm not saying asiyazi manje. Mhlambe sekungconywana. I-copper ke was not found there, but a light fitting was found, and these police declared on the spot that the light fitting, they cannot say ukuthi ekamasipala, because the Masipala guys were there and looking over it, and then the municipal guys like, no, we can't say. To my dismay, fast forward, I got arrested for the same item.
Just that the
light fitting. Yes. They claimed it to be a municipal street light.
But the municipality guys didn't confirm that, though?
On site, they said it's not.
And then later on, they came back and
not even came back, because it was us how did it get here? The guy who had left it with me came and admitted to it, and then told them he can show them where they got it, where he got it. And they took him with, and I came with them, thinking I'm accompanying the guy, because the young man had just come in to me for help. Okay. He had not even sold me that light. He had left it for safekeeping, as it's called in legal terms. And eventually didn't come around to pick it up. Then it was found by the police there.
He's made it very clear, guys. His business is clean. However, the stigma is there. The stigma is there that you're dangerous. Because I know the places that you guys operate in is also heavily armed with security. Why?
Security is important, but not so heavily armed. But security is important in a sense that theft is one of the problems we have. But faith, we cannot lie. Poverty makes people do silly things. So theft, and obviously substance abusers, but it's a whole thing I don't want to get into. Sidlana sodwa in townships. If the next person looks at you and thinks I can get something out of you, they will sidlana sodwa in townships, unfortunately, and there's not enough to go around. You know, townships have a lot of money, but it's channeled out. We don't even believe in our own abilities to rotate imali within. I would come to you, something or a service, I would ask you for a discount. So theft is a heavy thing that I've experienced in business, whereby you find the same people who have sold scrap to me, if not the same, some would see the piles sitting there and then see an opportunity to come steal.
Oh. and resell it to you.
Either resell it to me or elsewhere, whichever way. So you have to be,
Yeah.
the security has to be really in place. The area needs to be well secured and kept clean.
Tell me about your bike experience, because I understand you showed me that you had a major accident.
Yeah. That was in 2022. But before that, it was the year 2022, yes. Same year, I got the bike. I had a major accident a few months after. I think I was even on my third bike. It came at the right time. I needed something. Why I needed something, everything else was a blur in terms of the years that have passed. One, putting effort into working every day as many hours as possible, all in the name of just ukushintsha impilo.
Okay.
When I say ukushintsha impilo, we all have backgrounds. Some of us want to change impilo from those backgrounds. Okay. So I'm no different there. And I grew up believing that I am the answer.
What work were you doing, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, when
that's
we come to
afforded
work,
you to buy. I don't know, bikes are expensive.
I own a business right now, a scrap metal business and a laundromat.
Yo.
Occasionally we do property transactions, but occasionally. So all of that being said, one got into biking because it could be afforded, to be modest, and then I belong to a new community.
Yes.
In that community, I found brotherhood.
Okay.
Which I wasn't anticipating. I just wanted to ride my bike.
Yeah. How severe was this accident? Just to give us
Yeah.
insights about I had an accident. I also had an accident. You know what was my accident?
Yeah.
I got married, man.
That's a huge
I'm
one.
kidding.
Yeah,
Big accident. I'm kidding. My wife took him. But,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So,
Yeah.
yes, take me through that accident.
Okay. It was quite severe. It was pretty severe. I broke my left leg, 6 ribs, and a collarbone. All on my left side. And I think whatever that went on at the accident scene meant to take my life. Like whatever that was going on after the accident in my body, because I was really losing it. I felt my life drift, like out of my hands. Luckily, emergency trainers reacted quickly and they were on scene, and specialists were able to be on scene on time. And I was saved, and then I was rushed to hospital, and then it happened. That's how I was saved, and I must be thankful to God, really, because really it was bad.
Look, I don't mean to take you back.
Sure.
But I'm a person that I just create pictures when somebody speaks. Just before it happened,
Mm-hmm.
how did it happen? Like, give me a scenario. I was just doing 120 or whatever. I don't know, bike speed.
Oh, okay. All right. I get you. I think more than anything, what we as bikers tend to experience when we ride versus the obstacles are different.
Okay.
It was inexperienced. The roads were wet.
Okay.
Panicked. Vehicles on the road. It was a mix of things, but inexperience was in the mix of it, with obviously interferences from traffic.
Okay.
That literally,
Was it a high
heightened.
speed?
Not even.
Oh,
Not even. It was inside roads.
Oh.
Yeah, inside neighborhoods.
Oh.
So there's no way you could even do 100 on that road, So, but the roads being wet, I think, not that I think, I know exactly that, I was approaching a bend, and a vehicle came and it was driving on the line you know, where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that made me panic because that made that bend sharper. And when the bend is sharper, you need to lean a bit more.
Yeah.
The road is wet. I wasn't confident. And then...
You collided with the vehicle?
No. I couldn't lean. I hit a wall.
Your wall?
Yeah, I hit a wall and obviously the vehicle drove off. Yeah. It for me, that wasn't the scariest of things. The scariest thing was what will happen to my daughters if I die.
Yeah.
What would happen to my kids if I die? What would happen to my son?
Mm-hmm.
What would happen, you know, to the people I'm leaving behind?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I didn't share, we actually didn't cover much, but you know, there are elderly people that come to the scrapyard, bezodayisa insimbi, amakani, sometimes like your aluminum cans from cool drinks and alcohol beverages. Ebona uma eqeda ukala lento, and then they say, oh ngiyabonga mntanami ngisayothenga isinkwa. Buffet, you don't get it, you know, because it's not all about paras. Kuzoba, if I could, I would get every person or addicted kuma drugs, in particular amapara la umuntu awabona mostly, out of them, because it's not that I don't believe that business is not dependent on ukuthi kube khona amapara.
Okay.
I always even tell bona these guys, ukuthi guys, this is not dependent ekutheni khona nina. I would help each and every one of them to quit smoking lento abayibhemayo. If I could, if anyone out there in actual fact can collaborate with me in a form of, I've helped some. It is financially intensive, baningi labantu, but if we can help, people can raise funds. Sikwazi ukuthi sibe ne program where we can stagger them and put them through phases, because this thing, going to rehab for it is useless. Okay. There is a way of helping them, but it is costly. And then if we can have programs in place, ezokwazi ukuthi ziba channel and guide them ukuthi banga relapse into it. If anyone is out there, I call on them to reach out to me. I'm sure details will be put in this thing. Sisize umphakathi wethu, because sabantu abamnyama, in actual fact, the next generation ayikho with these people dying from this thing. That's what I'd say.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Ngiyabonga usicacisela about scrapyards and operating in such a
environment.
Heavy environment. Yeah? And now you are like sending a warning. Hey, other people are watching and will say, you see now, he was there to just talk about his business. Now it's tampering with our business.
No,
listen, we speak with no fear. It's Naledi, nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
And this is what the program is for. It's real like that. The man is out there, Kamashu, and he wants to help. Reach out to him. We'll share the details. Till next time, my man. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, brother.
Yes.
It's